Maybe I'll sit here and then you'll be looking.
Can we stop?
Start recording again. Go. What's your name?
My name is Eilidh Hamilton and I'm a type 1 diabetic and 10 years old.
Cool. And you're 10 years old. How long have you had type 1 diabetes for?
4 years.
4 years. So you must know quite a lot about it then. So what's type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes is when part of your body, it's kind of behind the stomach, called the pancreas, a section of it fails, and that section gives off insulin.
So an insulin, you need insulin to absorb the energy from your food.
Yes.
So type 1 diabetics can't absorb energy from their food.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what does that mean for you? Say like when you get up in the morning, how does it affect your day? What do you have to do?
Well, I get up and I do a blood test. I prick my finger.
Can you show us?
This is something called a BG meter.
So BG is blood glucose.
Yes.
Which is another name for blood sugar.
This is a strip.
Okay. And what does that do?
This needle comes out with.
Doesn't sound very friendly. Does that hurt?
No. Well, sometimes it can, depending on where I do it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so tell us what's happening.
Well, right now I'm in something called a hypo.
And what does that mean?
It means that I need to eat, really.
Okay, so what do you do?
Take some Mentos.
Because lots of people think that diabetics can't eat sweets and sugar, and you're about to have some. So that's not true then?
No.
Okay. So how many times a day do you have to prick your finger?
Approximately 8.
8. And when you're low, this is a low that you're having now.
Yes.
How does it make you feel?
Well, this one I didn't really feel, but sometimes, actually most of the time, depending on how big the hypo is, I get a headache and I start to feel angry and can't concentrate, and sometimes I get a really sore tummy.
Okay. And what if your blood glucose is high? It's too high. How does that feel?
Pretty much the same, when I can't concentrate on one thing and I find it hard.
Okay. Can you tell if you're high or if you're low? Is there anything that's different?
It's actually really hard.
Okay. So that's a bit of a worry then, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it important to keep your blood glucose? Well, what's a good number for your blood glucose first?
7.
7. And why is it important to keep your blood glucose at 7? What happens if you're too high for too long?
It can affect my kidneys and liver and my eyesight and my feet.
Oh, right. Okay. And what about if your blood glucose is too low?
I can have a seizure.
Oh, okay. That's quite scary, and that can lead to a diabetic coma, can't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's quite important that you take these finger pricks and that you look after yourself, isn't it? There's a lot that goes into it, and 8 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around that.
So if we can see what you're doing when you're too low, you eat sweets. What about if you're too high? What
Lovely
do you...
medicine.
What if you're too high? What do you do?
Take more insulin.
More insulin. How do you get the insulin into your body?
Well, there's 3 different methods that you can use. One of them is just a long needle. We call that one a cocktail. Yeah. It's not the alcohol cocktail that you drink in the pub and stuff. It's a cocktail of 3 different types of insulin, and that goes into a holder called a rocket holder, because it's shaped kind of like a rocket. And you pull it back, you load it up, and then you pull out, push a piece of skin out like that, and then you hold it and you push a button, and then you have to kind of run your fingers up it so you don't let go, and then it pulls it, and then you push it in and take it out.
And it's got a needle on the end of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one way.
And then there's this way, which is a pen. That holds insulin here. And then that comes out this needle.
It's a really tiny needle.
Yeah, that's really small. Actually, should probably tell you, the rocket needle's like maybe 3 times the size of that. And then there's the way that I've got.
Yeah.
Which is...
So how does that get inside you? How does that? Can you lift it up a little bit? Lift up the pump. Oh yeah, that just looks like a beeper.
Yeah.
So how does that get inside? Ah, so is it on you all the time?
Yeah, except when I go swimming.
So you sleep with it on?
Yeah.
Is it uncomfortable?
Sometimes, and the only problem is I sleep like this.
Cool. What's all this stuff that's beside you?
This is the stuff that goes into my special diabetes bag. I'll give you the tour. I'll do my back pocket first.
It goes with you everywhere you go. It's
yes.
A lot of stuff, isn't it? Okay.
This is something called a cartridge, and here it holds insulin, and that refills my pump.
Okay.
You know about the pen. This is glucagon. It's an emergency injection.
So when would you need that?
When I'm very, very low, put the water into the mixture and pull the mixture up into the needle, and well, I wouldn't. Someone who's around me would, and then they jab me.
Okay. Has that ever happened?
Yes, once. That I know of. Can't remember that day. My mum and my dad's card, so that if I do a really bad hypo and I can't move anywhere, I can phone them, or if I'm down on the floor, someone else can phone me.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a phone, I've got a phone handy. Okay. This is a card that helps me understand my IOB. IOB is it's just short for insulin on board.
And why is that important to know how much you've got on board?
Because if I take the right amount, and it might be 2 units, and I've got another unit on board, then I'll drop to the floor.
Okay, so that's quite important to know what you've got.
This is a needle for my pen.
Yep.
Always carry it in handy. You're probably wondering why I've got the pen in my bag when I've got the pump. If I'm too high, I'm not allowed to use the pump, and I have to use the pen.
Okay.
And that's why I've got that. This is a ketone kit. I do the exact same thing for this with my BG meter. I use the same pricker. Only thing that's really different is a different meter and different strips.
Okay, so it measures ketones.
Yes.
And when do you use that one?
Usually when I'm high, but sometimes my ketones can be very high and I'm actually low.
Okay.
And that's a very dangerous situation where we just go to the hospital and they've got like a very special mixture, and they can monitor me.
Yeah.
Last thing in the back of my back pocket would be a sight. Now, I lifted up my top earlier, and I'll do it again just to show you. That's a sight.
So is that a needle? There's a needle in that, yeah?
Yes. See, this is all along here, and then it goes down, so it's kind of like an L shape, upside down L. And this is just a sticker, really. And then that clips on, and I can unclip it. Like that. And I can unclip it, and there's my pump.
So that's you disconnected.
Yeah. Disconnected. And then, put it on the wrong way. I do that all the time. Make sure that's out the way. Just click it back together. And then in the front pocket, I've got Mentos, so I need to take, you know why. Then all of my BG stuff. I've got a battery for my glucose meter. This is a bottle to put used test strips in. Insulin to fill up the cartridge to fill up the pump. Another battery, a lithium battery, very expensive batteries. And they go into my pump. Probably wondering why I've also got a coin, not even of our currency. That's to help me open my pump battery holder so that I can take the old battery out and put the new one in. And that is everything that I hold in my little bag.
Wow, it's a lot of stuff goes
Yes.
with you everywhere.
Yeah.
Cool. So we talked a little bit about not being able to eat sugar and how that's a bit of a myth.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can't eat?
No. Can eat it all. Just carb counting.
What's carb counting?
Carb counting is when on the back of a packet there'll be nutritional information.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say. Try saying that 5 times in a row. And you just go along that and then it go down and it says carbs, and then you move your finger along one, and then you would take that number, and if you're going to have something else, you do the exact same thing, take the number of that, and then you would add them together, and then you would put them in the pump. But some people aren't as lucky as me, and they use the pen or the syringe, and they have to do all the calculating on a calculator in their heads.
Okay. So you have to count every single thing that you eat?
Yes.
And you have to take insulin every single time you eat?
Yes.
Unless you're having a hypo?
Yes.
Okay, I'm beginning to get it. So I think some people would say that that's quite complicated for a 10-year-old. Does diabetes stop you from doing anything?
It can interfere, but no, it cannot stop.
Okay. And like, what would it interfere with?
Mostly sport. And it would do that because if I'm high, it takes me a couple of minutes to put the right amount of insulin in, and then take it, and then we have to wait for it to work, and then I can go on. And if I'm low, it takes me a little bit longer because I need to wait 10-15 minutes for my bloods to come back up and then retest. And if I'm still low, there's no point on the I need to do the same thing again.
So you can miss out.
Yeah, I can miss out. I can miss out a couple of games. But actually, my week is jam-packed because most of the time, and mostly, it's sport.
Okay, so you must have a good handle on it then.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the worst thing about having type 1 diabetes?
The worst thing would be the danger of seizures and the putting needles in.
Yeah. And the best thing?
Going to all the special needs kids parties is very fun.
Okay, so as part of diabetes awareness, what would you like us to do?
Maybe get some more, donate money and donate money to the Diabetes Research Lab to help us get a cure quicker. And we're blue for 2 degrees to help donate to diabetes.
Cool. thank you very much for telling us all about type 1 diabetes.
No problem.